Hey guys, it's me. Literally, it's literally my face. From that, you can probably already tell this isn't going to be a normal video. I guess it's still technically an update video, so that general EditZP trend is still maintained. But yeah, I don't vlog, and quite frankly, I have no idea what the didgeridoo I'm doing, so I apologise in advance if this video is a bit shit. I have a checklist in front of me to help me keep on track with the various points I want to cover. So if you see me reading something, it's that and not your letters to Santa. On which note, if you're wondering why there is a Christmas tree behind me in the middle of March, don't worry about it, we'll get to that. So just hold your horses on that front. And yeah, this is a follow-up to my last update video about 10 months ago, where I said I was going to be gone for a bit because my mum had been diagnosed with breast cancer. If I'm being honest, I don't want to be making this video, but I feel like at least once you guys deserve a proper update video, and I'm hoping that making this will make me feel a little bit better as well. I was originally going to lay out the entire story of the year in detail, and maybe at some point I still will, but right now I can't, so I hope this will do. You can probably already guess where this is going, and if you follow me on Twitter you already know, so I'll start there. On December 21st, my mum passed away. The initial breast cancer diagnosis ended up being fine in the end. The tumour wasn't as bad as they initially thought. It hadn't spread to the local lymph nodes, and the surgery went well. Everything was looking pretty good. And then they found the second tumour. Mum had managed to get two entirely independent cancers, which is apparently fairly improbable. And apparently esophageal cancer is often found quite late because of a lack of initial symptoms, and that is what happened. When they found it, it was stage 3, inoperable, and they said Mum probably had about 3 years on average, which, in hindsight, would have been nice. The next few months were just a progressive slide down. Mum stopped being able to eat or drink. She had a tube inserted through her tummy into her stomach. The pain started getting quite bad at this point, and then she stopped being able to walk because of it. So they gave her a wheelchair, which she found quite entertaining on occasion, but it did make a lot of day-to-day activities quite difficult. At the start of all this, I was living with a girl I had been with for about 5 years at the time. But when things started getting bad with Mum, I moved back in with Mum to help her handle all the medication and in general try to make things a bit easier for her. And then she started chemo, which had to be a lot less aggressive than they wanted because Mum just wasn't very strong. She'd lost weight, and her lupus meant in general, even at her best, she was never exactly Iron Man. And after a couple of months of chemo, they did another scan to see what it was doing, and it turns out it wasn't doing anything. It had spread to the local lymph nodes, and her liver, and her blood, and her pancreas, etc. And yeah, they said that she probably had about 6 to 8 months if she could handle some more aggressive chemo, but Mum decided it wasn't worth it, so we went home, and she didn't last all that much longer after that. I'd like to say it was a nice last few months, but it wasn't. It was quite bad. She was in pain every second of the day. Then the primary tumour started bleeding, which meant she started throwing up blood in the night, but because of all the medication she was on, she wouldn't wake up, so they got worried that she might choke, and Princess Alice Hospice took her in at the start of December, and they were amazing. Honestly, cannot fault a single thing they did. They were there for Mum every second of the day, and I will never be able to repay them for that. After Mum stopped treatment, I kept telling her that I'd tell her off if she didn't make it to Christmas and watch Doctor Who with me. She hated that show with a passion, but I still forced her to watch it every year. It became a sort of Christmas tradition, and she would just shit talk it the entire way through. It was great, particularly about just over a year ago now, they did an episode with a character dressed as a superhero, and her commentary was insightful. But yeah, so after she'd moved into Princess Alice, by this point I was basically living there with her. They'd gotten me a little bed to sleep in the room with her, and I had my own little fridge and everything. And so I walked into the local town, and I bought the tree behind me. Brought it back, dressed it up in lights and baubles, put some little robins on it, which I'm fairly sure weren't actually meant to be put on a Christmas tree, but I don't know if you can see them from there. Yeah, you can see one at the top there. That's Gary. He's perched upon his tree kingdom. And yeah, after everything ended, I brought it home with me, and I just haven't been able to bring myself to put it away yet. When she woke up and saw it, it made her really happy, and I think it was the last time I ever saw her really happy. So, it just sits there now. You can see her bear over there as well. So yeah, over the following couple of weeks, Mum started to become delirious because of blood loss and a lack of food, since eating made her feel sick. And then she got really tired and started just sleeping all the time, and then she left. I'm happy for that much, at least. She went through hell, but at least she got to drift off quietly when no one was looking, which I know she wanted quite a lot. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sorry I've never been a particularly good content creator. This channel has spent the overwhelming majority of its life inactive, but I appreciate how many of you have stuck around all these years. I'm not sure what the future holds for this channel, but I hope you will have a wonderful year, and I will hopefully see you again at some point.